Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Virtual World Cup. So happy to have you with us for this broadcast, and really all of our broadcasts all weekend long, actually. It has been one crazy weekend of Scrabble. We've had a whole lot of drama, some comeback wins, some upset losses, and just all sorts of crazy hijinks. And now it's all come down to this, the final match of the weekend between Nigeria and South Africa. Just to recap you on everything we've seen so far this weekend, it's been a whole lot of excitement, as I mentioned. I mean, Pakistan starting off the weekend with a big win over Australia, 16-9. Malaysia 14-11 over Thailand. Singapore, the biggest blowout of the tournament so far, 21-4 over Ghana. Canada beat Kenya 18-7, improving to 2-0 in their bracket. The US 15-10 over New Zealand, they're also 2-0. The Philippines staying alive with a 15-10 victory over Ireland, and the UK, as we just witnessed, with a dramatic comeback win, 13-12 over India. They need to win all 5 games in their final round to do it, and they did. An incredible comeback for the UK. And now it comes down to Nigeria versus South Africa. It is currently 5 p.m. Greenwich Mean Time on Sunday, July 19th. It is 6 p.m. in Lagos, Nigeria, 7 p.m. in Johannesburg, South Africa, and it is 10 a.m. here on the west coast of the U.S. where I'm coming at you. I am Evans Clinchy, and I am excited for this game. It's going to be a lot of fun. If we take a quick look at the pool play standings so far in the tournament, Group A is really exciting with all 4 teams, India, Thailand, Malaysia, and UK, all at 1-1. And that means that win and in is the situation for those 4 teams. If they win their final round next week, they're in. If they don't, they're out of the 8-team knockout rounds. In Group B, we've got Pakistan all alone in first place at 2-0. Australia is 1-1, and these 2 teams we're going to see today, Nigeria and South Africa, are 0-1. In Group C, Canada all alone in first place at 2-0, followed by Singapore, Kenya, and Ghana. And then in Group D, same thing. We got one team at 2-0, the United States, and then Ireland, the Philippines, and New Zealand. So the scenario right now for South Africa is they have to win to stay in contention in this tournament. If they fall to 0-2, they are not going to be able to get back into the top 2 teams in their group. Nigeria, on the other hand, could still lose today and make it. There's a scenario where Nigeria falls to 0-2, but if Pakistan beats South Africa, there could be a 3-0, 1-2, 1-2, 1-2 situation, and possibly they could still make it on spread, the Nigerians could. So for South Africa, this is a must-win for sure, and for Nigeria, this is you'd really like to win it because you're in a tough spot if you don't. We're going to jump over to the ISC game screen, and we're already watching the first game of this match right now. On your left side of your screen is A Tiger, that's Harry Wiggins for the South Africans, and on the right side is Jamo Wonder, that is Wale Fashina for the Nigerians. And your starting lineups are going to be Wellington Jiggery for Nigeria, followed by Olaya Kabir, Enoch Nwale, Wale Fashina, and Olumide Oyejide. And then South Africa is Stephen Gruz, Jared Page, Harry Wiggins, Gerald Davids, and Llewellyn Jeggles. Again, this is our first game, chosen because, honestly, because they started first, and I just clicked on the first game I saw. It's Harry Wiggins on your left, and on your right is Jamo Wonder, Wale Fashina. So early in this one, it is 48-41, a very close game with Harry just barely ahead. And let's see what we got here. Aterio is the 7-letter word on Harry's rack. Doesn't look like that's going to go down, though, so he's got to find a way to kind of play through these 1-point tiles. Something like Olia looks pretty reasonable. 24 points for just getting rid of your vowels and balancing the rack. But if anybody's in the chat and sees a better play, please call it out. I'm happy to have some suggestions from the peanut gallery, especially because it's been a very long weekend and we're all a little bit tired, so I'm going to miss stuff, guaranteed. South Africa last week had, I believe, a close match against the Australians, who came out on top. And Nigeria played Pakistan last week. Pakistan's just been on fire. They beat both the 1 and 2 seeds in the group. They beat Nigeria last week and then Australia yesterday. So it's an interesting bracket, this Group B bracket, because Pakistan is, the 3 seed, but they're running away with it. And right now, it's pretty imperative on these bottom 2 teams, Nigeria and South Africa, who are 0-1, to get a win here. Again, especially South Africa, they must win today to stay alive. Yeah, it looks like WTF in the chat saying not a better option here than Olia. I don't think there is either. It's always a frustrating situation when you've got an easy 7-letter word on your rack, but it can't play. And sometimes you take a little bit more time in that situation, just out of like the frustration of not seeing a spot for your word. But We're playing with 15-minute clocks. You can't stew in your misery for too long. You got to move on. Got to make a play. I'm definitely thinking that Olia here is the play. Oh, so okay. Harry goes for a higher scoring option of Tire. It kind of blows up the rack, though. You lose your R and your T. Interesting choice. Not sure if I agree, but it is 30 points. So for Wale, who's now down by a little bit, 78 to 41, he's got a B and a P and some one-pointers. Not seeing anything super great that jumps out at me. Yeah, I definitely want to reiterate what Jennifer said in the chat. Thanks to everybody else who helped us stream these matches this weekend. Thanks to Jeremy Koo, thanks to Will Anderson, thanks to Ben Schoenbrunn, thanks to Edward Oculitz. You guys have all been great. I think it's really, really cool that we managed to have a full broadcast slate of all 8 matches broadcast on Twitch this weekend. It really means that fans of every team all over the world can tune in and see their players play. It's been really exciting. We're going to try to keep that up in future rounds. It's going to be a little bit tough next week with Benji on vacation, but we will find a way to make that happen if we can. Whole lot more Scrabble action coming up after this weekend. We got 8 more matches next week, and of course those 8 will decide who makes the playoffs. And then after that, we got the quarterfinals, semifinals, and finals in the 3 weeks after that. So really exciting. Lots of dramatic matches from here on out. Pretty much every match from here on out is going to be do or die for somebody, right? Like if you're South Africa right now, you must win today to stay alive. Next week, everybody's playing for their playoff positioning, so every single match is going to be crucial. As of right now, all 16 teams are still in contention to win the tournament. There's some long shots, like Ghana needs to go 21-4 next week to make it, but technically everybody's still alive, and also I believe technically nobody's guaranteed a playoff spot yet either. Even if you're the U.S. or Canada at 2-0, you could still, or Pakistan it is, you can still have a blowout loss and get knocked out of contention. There's situations where teams that are 2-1 lose their playoff spot on spread, and there's situations where there's teams that are 1-2 gain a playoff spot on spread. So everybody's got something to play for, that's for sure. So while I've been babbling, we've missed a couple of plays. Wale plays Poi, P-O-I, for 20 points, and then Harry responds with Of for 17. Looks like we're heading for a little bit of a closed board with this kind of staircase style going down the bottom right corner. But there's definitely still ways to bust it open. There is, of course, the look available on Hep. Hep takes a U as well as the S, so a couple of ways people can use that spot there in line 15. And, if you're Wale, who's got the first blank here, you're looking for lines to bingo. One of them is in line 15, making Haps or Hap U. Probably not Hap U, because words don't end in U very often. And then the other spot for a bingo is for an 8-letter word ending in that Y. You're in line J. So there's definitely some ways for Wale to blow this board open with a big play, but right now I don't think I see such a play on his rack. It's a little bit of an awkward rack with ABTINU. See some 7-letter words like unbraid. Those aren't going to play on this board. Unbraid and daubing are the only 2 sevens. Nothing to the Y. So probably a situation here for Wale where he's got to manipulate the board a little bit, try to keep it open for bingos on future turns. He's not going to get one down now, I don't think. I want to say thanks to Jeremy and everybody else who's been in the chat, like adding all these bots and stuff. I am a little bit of a Twitch newbie myself, to be honest, so I'm still learning all of these bots and, the emotes and all that stuff. So to everybody who's helped make this Twitch really cool, I just want to say thanks. All I really do is, watch Scrabble and talk about it. A long thing here for Wale. He's got this rack of unbraid, and yeah, he's going to play by B-U-Y, which is going to set up another spot to bingo underneath the B and the U there. It's a strong leave as well for him, A-D-I-N blank. So I'd say he's got a pretty good chance to get a bingo down next turn, as long as he doesn't draw anything too weird. Tough spot now for Harry. He's got to find a way to score points with his Z and also just kind of balance the rack, get rid of the excess vowels. Unfortunately, Nate is not a word. Nate's is a sticky S, so can't do that. I was looking at ways to play something like Zeet or ZD. Maybe something like that is reasonable underneath the B and buy 30 points. Not a great position for him though. I mean, he's got to try to keep the rack balanced, so it's not super easy to do. So it looks like the choice from Harry is going to be Zati in the spot. Okay, that's same thing pretty much. And now it looks like we're going to see a bingo from Wale. The first thing that jumped out at me was something like diazines. If I could type, diazines is 86. There might be another play that doesn't open the triple triple the same way diazines does, but probably going to see something come down that's pretty high scoring. We can actually play across with diamine like that for 88. That also opens a triple though, so that might not be the best choice. Ooh, I think maybe Design might be the highest scoring option. 90 points and it doubles your D. Doesn't, and he does find Design for 90. Excellent play, I think. I couldn't find anything better. So a big play from Wally, who now goes ahead by 40, 165, 125. So Jeremy in the chat saying that the parallel plays are better. I'm perplexed by that, but I'm open to that. Cesar says QIS for 50 looks easy. Yep, I would agree with that. Oh, he's going to choose the lower scoring QI, keeping his S. I mean, it's defensible when you have a fairly vowel heavy rack to keep your S. It's an S and it's a consonant that you need to keep your rack balanced. So you can see that. Looks like another strong bingo prone rack for Wale, and he's going to play Ole 8s pretty quickly. 76, and now he's ahead by a bingo plus. Well, 79, a bingo. Doesn't look like a bingo on Harry's rack right away, but there's definitely some ways to score pretty nicely with that K. So he's going to be still within striking distance after this turn, I would say. Yeah, eek, exactly what I was thinking. 35 points. Keep your EINS trend bingo next turn. Wale, another pretty decent rack. Needs the end for Evensong, which is not available here. This would make a whole lot of phonies if you played it here. OG. Oh, actually, only one phony. OG and Gannett. Maybe I'll add OG. It does have a meaning. Sort of. So what do we think for Wale here? He's ahead by 44. Definitely has to worry about his opponent with a fairly fishy posture right now, looking for a bingo. Got to worry about a couple different spots on the board where a bingo might happen. There's the hook under dead signs. There's anything parallel to dead sign on the left or the right. Feel free to share in the chat if you see a way to keep the board under control here if you are Wale. It looks like Wale's just going to score points and take out that dead signs hook. 39 is a pretty good score. And Harry is going to bingo. He's drawn Salines. Looks like Salines here is pretty reasonable, 72, and doesn't give back any crazy counterplays to your opponent. Oh, Venge parallel to Deadtime would have set up his ass. That's interesting, yeah. Well, as played, we do get to see Silanes instead of Salines, same thing. And for Harry, at 72 points, and he's right back in the game. This looks like a spot to play some sort of vow or avow type word. There's a spot for it here. Probably want to keep your A, both for the defense and for balancing the consonants and vowels in your rack. 27. Oh, he plays WoW for 37. That's much better, and I missed that. My bad. So, definitely still a tempo advantage for Wale, and if you're Harry, you want to find a way to get back in this game with one more bingo. Not going to be easy to do, especially with the rack he's got right now. GMOOTTY, not that pretty. We love VWW, don't we, folks? You know, in certain situations, those VWW racks are okay. You know, when you're already ahead and you're just trying to keep scoring 35 each turn and just like not open anything up, like those racks can be fine. And that's kind of the situation that Wally's in right now, just looking to, you know, avoid giving up any more bingos and just keep scoring a little bit. So now for Wale, he's only ahead by 13 points. He's definitely got to worry about even a non-bingo comeback, just getting outscored at this point. 19 tiles still in the bag, a whole lot of Scrabble still to be played in this game, and he's got to keep the pressure on scoring-wise. Yeah, I mean, there's not much I can find that doesn't score. If it scores more than like 22 or something, like Fave, or you could do Favor if you want to get real crazy, but I don't know about that. Well, these are like 24-point plays, and if there's anything big and heavy on Harry's rack, he can cut. Like the X is going to be a factor for sure. You know, there's an X hotspot here at C3 you got to worry about. Another X hotspot here at L4. So this situation is getting tricky for Wale. He's got to worry about losing to a bingo. He's got to worry about losing to a non-bingo play like a big X play. It looked like he had a pretty solid lead a couple turns ago, but now maybe not so much. Harry has continued to score well every turn. Yeah, I mean, his last 4 turns were the Q for 37, the K for 35, a bingo, and then MY for 35. So just not letting up. Oh, favored for 30, making Reek, R-E-K-E. That's another thing that I just couldn't spot. So 30 points for Wally. He's ahead by 43, and we're still looking at a not that great rack for Harry. You know, if you're Harry right now, you're trying to think, how do I manipulate the board and get to a point where, you know, maybe 2 turns from now I can get a bingo down. It's tough. You got to stay within striking distance on the scoreboard. You got an awkward rack. You don't want to do anything, you know, crazy desperate and open the board with like an 8-point play or something, but sometimes you can't find much else to do. Fish for a T for incognito. Wow, that's amazing. Oh no, you got to fish the T and draw an N. I see. So there's 1 N out of 21 tiles you can draw. Hey, that's better chance of winning than I saw. 1 in 21 is better than 0 in 21. Yeah, so Will pointing out that there's in over here in line N, so you can draw cognito to the right of it. Fish the T, draw the N. That is a little crazy, but honestly, you've got to be a little crazy to win this game. You're in a tough spot. The board is not very open. Your rack is not very good. You got to get creative. Looks like all 5 games are still happening in round 1. I'll try and update you if there are any results to come in. Ooh, so a phony from Harry. He tries to play. Oh, it was a phony too. He played FI. I turned away from the computer for about 2 seconds and came back, and there was already a phony off the board. Yeah, Coit is valid, but FI is not. Whoopsie indeed. He was a bungler of that position. Ironically, bungler now on Wale's rack. Well, if you're Wale now, you're up by 43, and on turn, I think all you really got to do is just kind of keep the bingo lines under control on the board. Something like Gub seems totally fine. You're just going to lock up the easiest spot your opponent can hit and keep scoring, keep balancing. A note though about balancing, I mean, you look at the unseen tile pool, the vowels are A, E, E, I, O, U, only 6 out of the 21 unseen tiles or vowels. So Rubel for 32. Same sort of blocking play and scores more. Nice find. You can hear me typing like practically every turn. It's because I don't know if any of these words are good anymore. I gotta check them. 32 points for Rubel though, and it is valid. Now a nice bingo lead. So we can keep watching this one if you guys would like. I'm also happy to mosey along to another game. You guys are watching on IC and there's one that looks particularly interesting to you guys, I'm happy to jump over to it, but you can also continue watching Harry and Wale if you'd like. It's looking increasingly at this point like it's going to be a tough position for Harry to salvage. There's just not a lot you can do with this rack or this board or this pool, really. So, barring any votes from the peanut gallery, I think I'm just going to make an executive call and mosey along. Let's take a look at Enoch Nwali. So, on the right side of your screen, Enoch 01 is Enoch Nwali of Nigeria. On the left side is Plutos, and I'll be honest, I gotta double check who that is. Plutos is Jared Page, the number 2 seed for South Africans. Looks like a pretty big lead for Jared here. Looks like a rough game for Enoch, but the game coming close to the end, and he's only at 268. Getting a quick recap of the moves here. Looks like Jared got Goiters for 72, Tanias for 69, and Enoch has not scored over 35 on a single turn all game. That is rough. Let's take a look at Olaya Kabir. On the left side of your screen is Black Knight, Olaya, and then on the right side is Steve G. That would be Stephen Gruz, the number 1 seed for the South Africans. This one looks interesting. Steve ahead by 4 points. Just needs to go out. Which I'm not immediately seeing if he can do. The only 5-letter word is donas, D-O-N-A-S. Not seeing a spot for that. Oh, but donas can be spelled with an H. So he does have a place to go out. Oh, not there. How about there? Donas, D-O-N-A-H-S. A little bit of an obscure word. I don't think I would have seen it. If Steven does see it, though, he wins the game. He might win even if he can't go out. It's a difficult position for Olaya holding 4 consonants that don't work that well together. So, probably going to be a win here for Steven either way, but let's just watch just in case. Raven asking if Trevor's not playing because his wife forbid him. I have no idea. You should look into that for me. I'm curious. Yeah, Trevor is a Trevor Hellmeyer, one of the top players in South Africa. Unfortunately, not playing this event, but yeah, Steve's the overall number 1 for the South Africans. It looks like he's found a winning play here. Not the outplay he needed, but Gio for 16 will put him ahead by 20, and Olaya can't go out, so I think he's going to be okay here. Looks like Wellington Jiggery did get a win in the first game of the match against Llewellyn Jeggles, so that is the first recorded victory for anyone so far. Still waiting on the other 4 matches, I believe. Oh, hold on here. Looks like another result as Olumide Oyejide for Nigeria has also won his game, notching win over Gerald Davis of South Africa. So currently the Nigerians are 2-0. We saw that Wale was doing well against Harry. He will probably get a win there. So probably 3-1 is the Nigerian's record based on what we know so far. Yes, OWL was played. That stands for Obsolete Word List. So just playing out the final turns here, Owl comes down, and then ANS is the outplay for Stephen Gruz, and he's going to win 478 to 447. So it's officially 2-1 Nigeria from games that have gone final. And if we check back in with Harry, he is in a pretty bleak position. And that means there's only one game that we have not yet checked in on, and why am I blanking on which one that is? Oh, we were watching a little bit of Enoch against Jared Page, and it looks like Jared's going to win that one. So it looks like it's going to be 3-2 Nigeria. We will update those matches when they go final. So just playing out the final turns here, and the final score is Jared 407, Enoch 313. And we hop back over to Harry Wiggins and Wale Fashina, and Wale is just going through the pre-end gaming here, making sure he can't lose to any crazy disaster scenarios. Both of those X hotspots we were talking about earlier have been blocked, so no crazy X play. Doesn't look like a bingo. Looks like Wale's going to be fine. And we will allow them to play out the string, but meanwhile we can go over to our matchup coverage and just update all of our matches. So in round one, we had Wellington Jiggery with the win over Llewellyn Jeggles. If I could just find the button to toggle that on. Be a win for the Nigerians. Elia Kabir against Stephen Gruzd. That was a win for Stephen. Enoch Nawali against Jared Page was a win for Jared. Wale Fashina against Harry Wiggins is looking like it's just about to be a win for Wale. And then Olamide Oyejide against Gerald Davids is a win for Olamide. So yeah, it'll be a 3-2 lead for the Nigerians. Go ahead and update that for you guys. I am definitely rooting for a close match. Hoping to have some drama in the final round. It's always more exciting when you have that. And right now we got a match as close as it can be. Well, without any ties anyway. 3-2. So we will hop back into the action as soon as the players begin playing round two, which I believe they already have begun. Let's take a look at Olaya. And Midas Touch is Llewellyn Jeggles on your left. And it looks like the first bingo is going to come down for Olaya. He gets Banites on his first turn for 61. So Olaya's got the early lead, and we'll see if Llewellyn can spot his bingo here. I see at least one. That's a high-scoring one, too. Hysteria appears to be able to play 86 points from the double letter score at D1. So Nigeria leads the match 3-2. South Africa must win today to stay alive in the tournament. Nigeria can still lose today and survive the tournament, but it's going to be a lot tougher from 0-2. Luxac Bach finding 4 bingos with that rack. Hysteria, Hysteric, Slithery, and Smithery. So we got no L, no M, and no C on the board. So Hysteria is the only bingo. Wayben in the chat saying you should get those games on TSK. Absolutely, you should. TSK is amazing. Wayben, definitely should post a link in the chat if you can. If you want, like, literally every possible statistic from this tournament you could think of, they're all on TSK. Wayben made a crazy cool thing. And Will, thanks for posting the link to the live coverage. That's great. Anybody who wants to check out how the tournament's going so far, all the scheduled matches, all the results, all the individual player standings, interesting stats, it's all on cocoscrabble.org/live coverage. So we got a banger so far here between Llewellyn and Olaya. Llewellyn does indeed find Hysteria for 86, and instantly coming right back with a dingo of his own is Olaya with Home Limbs for 82. So we got ourselves a pretty fun one here. A nice open board, lots of possibilities. And now it's back to Llewellyn to see what he can do. Doesn't look very bingo-y, but certainly ways to keep scoring, balance the rack. This game close. Jumping out to me right away is a play like maybe Plebe, 36 points. Who doesn't love 36 points? There's something like, I think Blipe is a verb. Blipe, oh, Herb, there we go, 36 points and take out the triple. That's nice and strong. Bunch of E's and R's for Olaya. I do not believe that deter is a word. One that deters? That sounds terrible. Correct me if I'm wrong. Deter is good? Oh, that's ugly. Alright, I guess you should play that. And he does. Of course, does open up the crazy double word score spot. Any double word score ending in S is going to score 20 points more than it usually would. We happen to know that Llewellyn is not holding an S, but he's got the Z and a blank and all sorts of fun stuff. Zep for 51 and an awkward rack for Olaya now. 2 U's. Pretty bad synergy between the 2 U's and the K. You love to score with the K to keep yourself ahead on the scoreboard. You also have to dump the U's. It is very hard to do both those things at once. What can we find here? Not much. Unsunk, wow. Unsunk looks like the play. Yeah, that's a very strong option here. Get rid of the U's and score points. I just said that was hard to do. I was wrong. Just play Unsunk. It's easy. 30 points. Those weird 6-letter words, it's hard to know whether they're good or not. Oh, okay, Olaya does know it and find it. 30 points for Olaya, and now a lead of 44. Llewellyn still holding a very awkward rack with the Q and the W. Does have that first blank, though. You can just drop the Q right away with QI. That's certainly an option. Looks like Llewellyn's going to choose to score a little bit more than 21. He's going to get 30 points for Gel. But he's going to hold on to a lead of QVW blank. Good luck with that. Boy. Speaking of bad racks, 4 I's now for Olaya. CEF, I. This might be an exchange rack, or it might be something you can creatively play through. I'm not sure. Really not sure. Is Rife worth it? Oh, Fiery is worth it. There you go. 27 and rid of 2 of those eyes. Okay, so finally Llewellyn gets rid of the Q. And still some vowel-heavy stuff for Olaya to fight through. Leads by just 15. He's not scoring well with these racks. I mean, the unsunk was nice, but the rack's getting even harder to score with now. What is there to do? Something like... Yeah, I don't even know. Let's see. Just kind of scanning the board for possibilities, and there just isn't very much that looks attractive. We play Clinchy for 11. I don't know. That's terrible. What do you do with racks like this? I just sit and complain for about 5 minutes and then play something terrible. That's why I'm on a Scrabble hiatus. Oh, Curiosa. Very nice, very nice, very nice. Okay. That is far better than anything I was seeing. So Curiosa is 11 points, but it cleans up all the vowels. Oh, Otik also scores very well. Okay, Otik for 26. Not bad, not bad. You're going to have some vowels to work with still, but 26 is a strong score. Llewellyn gets to unload the V and the W with Wave for 27. And now the X for Olaya. There's not really a humongous X spot. He can't really use this spot here. You know, there's no, or wait. Ducks? Okay. He can use that spot. Yeah, it looks like DUX is going to be the play. No comparable way to score well with the X, I don't believe. If I were in his shoes, I'd play it pretty quickly. Not that time's been an issue for either one of these players. They're both pretty fast. Played Olaya in person maybe twice. I think I faced him at the Worlds in Kenya in 2017. He's a fast player, not afraid to rush you on the clock a little bit, that's for sure. But Llewellyn seems to be having no trouble at all keeping up with Olaya's speed. Ducks does indeed come down, and now we've got the second blank. Or, no, excuse me, we have the same blank that was there already. We have the first blank still on Llewellyn's rack, and it looks like finally he's got a fairly workable bingo rack. Just barely can't fit Flotsam underneath the Wave, but there's got to be something that goes there. Futsal? Oh yeah, Futsal also goes there, okay. Interesting that he chooses Futsal opening the triple rather than Futsal making waves. I'm not sure if I understand that choice. Especially when you're ahead by 20, you want to avoid giving back easy ways for your opponent to hit that triple. Yeah, that's perplexing to me. Futsal doesn't fit there. Jeez. All right. I don't know what I gotta do. More coffee in the morning or something. Perplexing indeed. Okay, Futsal there. Good play. Good play. Never doubt it for a minute. So now what if you're Olaya? You're down by 20. You've got a bunch of vowels still. Koala? Yeah, Koala looks very strong. Just an easy way to take that triple, score well, balance well. Play that, you're up by 10, 8 tiles in the bag, and we're going to have a really close endgame for sure. Another consideration here is just that both players really want to draw that second blank. And Koala digs pretty deep into the bag trying to find it. 4 cracks at it. I don't think there's a reasonable way to play more than 4 tiles. Oh, yes, there is. Kawaida for 40. That's a great play. Scores well. Gets 6 attempts to draw that blank from the bag. Very, very nice. Olaya has played this game fantastically, if you ask me. You know, he found Unsunk, which was a hard play. Deter is a weird word. It's hard to be sure of that. He found it. Homelands is a great bingo. Then Kawaida scoring 40 and trying to draw that second blank. Just a series of fantastic plays in this game, in my opinion, from Alaya Kabir. He's given himself a chance to win this game. Up by 20, 6 tiles in the bag. The J and a bunch of one-pointers for Llewellyn. He does have the obvious spot to score with the J. You can just play JO for 34. Question is, can you do anything better than that? Plenty of time to find it. Over 9 minutes. He does play JO. And now there's the second blank for Alaya. Down by 14 points. Difficult board. Difficult rack other than the blank. I mean, the V and the G, these are not bingo prone tiles at all. Interesting spot for Olaya here. He can definitely win this game without a bingo. I mean, he's only down by 14. He's going to have the flexibility of having the blank on his endgame rack. He doesn't necessarily need to open anything. Josh saying just mop here. Oh yeah, mop looks very good. Just score 44, leave one in the bag, and you got that blank in reserve for next turn if you need it. Yeah, mop looks great. Yeah, both these players have played this game so well, and they've played it so quickly too. It means they have plenty of time left in their clock for this this endgame, which could get hard. In my opinion, the hardest part of Scrabble is games like this where it's close at the end, and you've got to calculate really difficult endgames. I think the reason you play quickly is so you can leave time on your clock for situations like this. And to these guys' credit, they both have plenty of time to work with. There should be a Scrabble variant where one player can play horizontally and the other vertically. Oh my god. If I ever play that, I got dibs on horizontally. Vertical plays are evil. Okay, so Ova instead of Mop, similar idea. Scores a little bit less. Keeps GMP. And now for Llewellyn, he's down by 22. And I think the objective here is to maximize the probability that he goes out next turn. You play a lot of tiles and score well, and at least threaten one out next turn, if not have two. You're going to make it more difficult for Olaya to pull out this endgame. I would say Olaya's the favorite right now with the 22-point lead in the blank, but maybe there's a creative way that Llewellyn can give himself a chance. Yeah, seeing some people saying in the chat that he might have just missed the M hook for ism, I think you're probably right. I don't think there's much doubt that Mop is a better play than Ova. But it looks like either one of them should be sufficient to win this game unless Llewellyn can come up with a crazy way to steal this thing. So a glow is the play. That's the right idea. I mean, you're giving yourself a chance to go out, but it looks like Olaya's rack is just too good right now. Even without any kind of bingo threat, he just has nice stuff to score with in his endgame. He's up by 2 points right now, soon to be more. I don't think that DIO is going to be anything too potent for Llewellyn here. Like, even if you let Llewellyn have, Lloyd or Lido, it's not going to score very much, and Olaya can just outrun it. Looks like Wellington is logged off of ISC. He must have finished his game. Oh, Epigram! It's a bingo to go out. I didn't see that. Olaya has the out bingo to win it. So a close endgame turns into a almost 100-point win for Olaya Kabir. Very exciting. Final score 501 to 409. Pretty convincing win for Olaya. Battles back after losing to Stephen Gruz in the first round, gets the victory here. Nice win. Let's check in on some other players. I don't think we've yet watched Daddy Fian, who I believe is, let me just double check. Yes, it is Olumide. And he is getting beat pretty bad right now by Harry Wiggins. Just going to update a couple of scores here. And we can mosey on along. We can check on Enoch Nwali, who is playing Stephen Gruz. And we got a close game here. Let's take a look at this. Other results to report. Wellington has won again. He beat Gerald Davids. So far in the results I know about, it's 2-1 to the Nigerians this round. I can go ahead and update the scoreboard with the 3 matches that I know about. So it is 5-3, with still no result in from this game here between Enoch and Steven, and there's one other game that we haven't yet gotten a result from. Looks like Gemma Wonder and Plutos are still playing. That's Wale and Jared. So 5-3, still a close match. Looks like Steven can definitely win this game here as long as Enoch can't find a way to steal it with a late bingo. So let's see what Enoch can do. He's down 378 to 333. Deficit of 45 points. Not really seeing a way to open much on this board. Suppose you could play pay and hope to draw the S and get lucky. Or I guess Yap is similar. You could just not mess with the openness of the board and just hope to bingo from that Q to IRT and acquit. Probably not the Q because the U's are all gone. Also because it's a Q. Seeing a suggestion in the chat of die, D-Y-E. Where is die happening? Oh, I see die. Die is right here underneath Oilettes for 36. Keep ANOP. Yeah, I mean, at this score, you can score 36 and be pretty close to back in the game, but you do kind of worry about that tempo disadvantage as you can just kind of get outrun. Question here is how hard do you have to work to create a possibility of a bingo here? I'm not sure if winning without a bingo is realistic, and I'm not sure if die does enough to open things. But I'm not sure. Tricky spot. Without a commentator video, it's hard to tell when the stream went dead. Yeah, that's a good point. I'm trying to talk as much as I can to keep the stream from seeming dead, but also not, blab too much and kind of drown out the conversation. A couple of reasons for not using a webcam. Reason one is just that bandwidth-wise, my connection is not going to like it. And reason number two is I like having all the display that I have right now with the names of the players and the scoreboard and all that. I think I like this layout, but definitely going to experiment with some other possibilities as the weeks go on. whole lot more Scrabble coming up after this weekend, so I can definitely try some new things. I like no camera too. I don't have to like shower or get dressed or nothing. I can just be in my pajamas in bed, and you guys won't know it unless I say so. Oops. Who likes looking at Benji's face? Answer to that question is everybody. Everybody likes Benji's face. In fact, if we could get some Benji emotes in the chat right now, that would be great. Thank you, Will. Right on cue. So Enoch now down by 45. Just looking. Oh, Cesar's face too. Also beautiful. There you go. Josh saying, I mean, he just loses. Okay, that's one way to look at it. I don't know. I mean, like, there's an S unseen, there's a blank unseen, there's ways you can get creative and open the board. Like, I don't think this game's over by any stretch. You're obviously a big underdog in this spot if you're Enoch, but I don't think you're losing. With a little creativity, you can pull this thing out. I don't know. I still kind of like this idea of Yad or Day. Okay, Yo is also interesting. Setting up a possible N. And, you know, the S and the blank are still unseen because we now look at the rack that Steven is holding and he's got pretty awkward stuff. No S, no blank. I'm going to go ahead and declare this game not over yet. So it's 378, 355. 23-point lead for Steven with 5 in the bag. Can't really block anything underneath Yo. Seems like he can't really block much of anything. It's just a rough situation. His tiles don't seem that useful. Yeah, Will, I agree. The little twinkly dots are really snazzy. I didn't know that. I thought you created those twinkly dots, but whoever made them, I'm very thankful. They're really cool. They make the design of these screens so much better. GEY and GOD. Yeah. Oh, that. Oh, yeah. Okay, because gay doesn't take a hook, so you're blocking hooks that way. I like it. Keeps ERRR, but that's okay. Winning ugly is still winning, as they say. As long as you block bingos, you're probably going to be in okay shape. You still got to worry about plays from a quit, but all right. So goes for 4. Also very blocky. Problem is you're scoring 4. By scoring only 4, you're ahead by 27, and you give Enoch the possibility of outrunning without a bingo. It's not easy, but it's possible, I feel like. So now, what's the best path to victory if you're Enoch? Do you try to bingo from the letters in a quit on the left and try to bingo underneath goes, which is really hard? You don't really have a great scoring play. Yeah, I mean, Steven's range after a play like goes, I don't know. I mean, like, I don't think a terrible rack like EERRRY is the first thing you think. It looks more like a kind of fishy play waiting to bingo for yourself. It's hard to interpret from goes that the S and the blank are still in the bag, but we in fact know that they are. So it looks like Enoch is just going to try to score well and outrun. Plays 9 for 27, and we are tied up 382 to 382. And Steven plays one tile, and the one tile he draws is the S. But it's not the blank. The blank is probably on Enoch's rack, and we now know that it is on Enoch's rack. So, Yi for 30. Enoch down by 30, has the blank. And if he goes out in 2, he could have a chance to win this thing. Definitely not going to see an outplay from Steven next turn. He's got 3 Rs. Jeremy pointed out in the chat that paravane is a word. Only paravana were a word you could then go out. Other Jeremy in the chat saying Pav looks like a strong play. Okay. Pav, and then you have Ansa and Pavs to go out. That's what, 24 followed by another 18. 42-point sequence. That's pretty good. Ooh, Paravant. That's cool. And then Rems. REMS. Where are we talking about Rems? Oh, yeah, I guess both players have an S, so you're not setting up a case S. My bad. Okay, I got you. Sadly, Goza, despite being a kind of beer, is not a valid word in Scrabble. That is a travesty and it must change. But until then, that spot is dead. Shout out to Jeremy Hildebrand, who likes Gozas, I know. I've consumed many a Goza with Jeremy. Minute and a half on Enoch's clock. All right, so Kanat is the choice, burning the blank on the first turn of the endgame for 26. Enoch's now down by 6, and what can Steven do? Knowing that Pav is the last 3 tiles on Enoch's rack. So Pav is going to play here at 10L. And if it's not blocked, it'll come down for how much? 18, looks like 24? Enoch gets to 432. Now it looks like Steve's going to need to score quite a bit here. Kanat might have been a winning play. Josh thinks Kanat doesn't win, really? Is there a second out? Good question. Don't know. Oh, if you play Rem, then Pav. Oh, so he plays Mies. Mies is 27. I believe Pav loses by 1. Is that right? Wow. Your final score is Steven 439, Enoch 438. That's incredible. So Pav, a great endgame for Enoch, I think. I couldn't find anything better, that's for sure. But it loses by 1. That's incredible. 439, 438. Steven gets a clutch win for South Africa. That's incredible. So that will even the score 2-2 in this round. Now we got to check on Jared Page. And it looks like he's already finished his match, and it was a loss for Jared to Wale. So again, Nigeria is going to salvage a 3-2 win in the round. After round 1, they were 3-2, and now they're going to double that up to be 6-4. Hop over to the matchup coverage screen, take a look at the game-by-game breakdown. Wellington, forgive me for shortening your name to Welly. Your name was too long and wouldn't fit on my screen. It was making me pretty mad. In round 2, game 1, we had Wellington versus Gerald Davids, and that was a win for Wellington. In round 2, game 2, we had Olaya versus Llewellyn, and that was a win for Olaya. In game 3, we had Enoch versus Steven, and that was a win for Steven, as we just saw. In game 4, we had Wale versus Jared, and that was a win for Wale. And then in game, if I could just turn that on, there we go. And then in game 5, we had Olumide versus Harry. And if I can just double check that, yes, it was a win for Harry. So again, 3-2, Nigeria takes the round. They're up 6-4. And this will definitely be a turning point round 3 for South Africa. They got to start rallying here. Got to have a strong round 3 to win this match, and they've got to have a strong match to be in contention in this tournament. So, pivotal games coming up definitely for the South Africans, and we will see if we can find a game to tune into. Looks like a lot of them are already getting started. Let's take a quick look at Harry Wiggins and Wellington. Actually, while they're more than started, they're halfway done. Wellington's ahead 221-203 against, that's A Tiger on your left, Harry Wiggins for South Africa. Sorry, I didn't want to provoke any showboard or riot from the chat. Oh, interesting. So Will in the chat says that everything loses to Mies. Okay, so it looks like that was just a losing position all along for I'm already forgetting who it was for Enoch. My brain is just mush at this point. I can't remember anything. All right, 244-203. Wellington playing Ani for 23. And now for Harry, down by 41 with the J. What to do, what to do. Looking around, seems like nothing super great here for Harry. I'm just seeing some lame stuff like Joel for 22. That can't be right. Oh, Joust. Joust is the play. There you go. Joust for 65 is much better than Joel for 22, on account of 65 being a big number. Definitely see a lot of people in the chat still talking about that last endgame. Cannot at all blame them. That was a classic game we witnessed. Yeah, Stephen Grows with a 1-point win if you're just joining us over Enoch and Wally. Just a fantastic endgame. And that puts South Africa within striking distance in this match. Only down 6-4. Looks like Harry's in a fairly close game here with Wellington, the top seed for Nigeria. If you're just joining us for this weekend, we've had a lot of exciting action. There was an amazing comeback earlier today as the UK needed to go 5-0 in the final round to win their match against India, and they did it. There was an upset win for the Philippines, the bottom seed in their Group D, over Ireland. There have been just a lot of close matches all weekend, a lot of excitement, a lot of drama. We've got 3 teams undefeated right now in the tournament. In Group B, we got Pakistan 2-0. In Group C, we got Canada 2-0, and in Group D, the US is 2-0. So, just a whole lot of fun stuff going on. And as of right now, all 16 teams are still in contention to win the tournament. Even the teams that are 0-2 could rally and make the playoffs on spread. And also, I think all 16 teams could actually get knocked out of the playoffs before they even begin. Like, even teams like the US that are dominant could get like a blowout loss and fall out of the top 2. So it's going to be a really thrilling final weekend of pool play. Everybody's got something to play for. But for South Africa right now, they got something to play for right this minute, because if they don't win this match, they're going to be 0-2, and I believe they'll be knocked out of contention. So the pressure is on the South Africans right now. Every game matters a lot when you're 0-1 in the tournament and you're down 6-4 in your match. And Harry Wiggins with a big play there, Glister for 77, putting him in the lead just slightly. But now the second blank to Wellington. See if he can play through these E's and maybe try to bingo in the next turn or two. Something like Eam for 27 looks reasonable. Not a very strong board, but It's basically an even game. You'll be slightly ahead after Eam. If your opponent opens the board, you can pounce. If they don't, I'm sure Wellington has no problem just, playing closed boards. He's always been quite strong at that. So this is going to be an interesting position for Wellington. Absolutely winnable, but not easy. Wellington's already won both of his games today. He beat Llewellyn Jeggles in game 1 and beat Gerald Davids in game 2. He's had a really strong run throughout the tournament so far, as one would expect from one of the best players in the world. Not really seeing a lot of options besides Eam. Like, I do think you want to cover that spot. Actually, you have the cased 4 E's. There are no more E's left in the game besides the 4 on your rack, so you could leave that spot open. It's interesting. You could play something like me here, score 20 in this spot, and just leave this other spot open, knowing that your opponent can never hit it. That's actually pretty fascinating. There's rarely a situation where you have the case 4 E's all in your rack, but that is the situation here. Well, really, the case 5 E's counting the blank. It looks like a pretty strong pool for bingos. Like, it's basically like all the letters in adsorbing doubled. But there's no spot for those letters. And like really the only thing there is a spot for is something with an E in it on the right side of the board where Glister is. So if you don't open anything, I don't think you're really fearing a bingo from Harry at all. No hooks on AE. Can't really fit anything through these letters FE and YN. There just isn't much. And you can just leave yourself that spot. Yeah, why don't people say just last? I guess we're just being pretentious, huh? That's a good point. I don't know. I mean, Jeremy, it is from card games, isn't it? The case, what card game is it from? I do feel like case is a thing. But yeah, I feel like me, or yeah, meh, same idea. I probably would have played one more E, but meh is 26 and it puts you a little bit ahead. Keeps that spot. So Wellington's leave with meh was EEES blank. You can draw a couple of consonants, he's in business. Unplayable bingo of noising for Harry. So what to do with this rack of noising? I mean, it's just tough. You could just, I don't know, play Ion. That's terrible. 12 points? No. Are there any extensions for joint? Jointsing? Don't think so. Um, yeah, I mean, this is not a board where you can bingo. The sad thing is that while Harry can't draw an E, he doesn't know that. So he might try to keep that RE spot open and try to fish for something. Yes, Jeremy, please do explain what that frog emote means, because I am not up on my Twitch lingo. But if this situation is the essence of that, I would love to understand better what that means. 4.5 minutes for Harry. Okay, so he does block. He plays in for 6. And now the board is pretty dead for bingos, but maybe that's okay for Wellington. Just keep scoring. You're going to have a more flexible rack in the endgame than your opponent. You also have the B, which is the highest scoring tile left out of all the 22 tiles in the game. I mean, if you're looking at Harry's situation from Wellington's perspective, he knows his opponent can't bingo, and he knows that he can't really score that much either with like no high scoring tiles on his rack. Oh, joint weed, that's right. He can fish for one of the 3Ds and draw joint weed. That's amazing. I hadn't thought of that at all. See, that's why I put these questions to the chat about extensions, because I might not know what they are, but you guys can help. Yeah, so if he wants to keep EE blank on his rack and fish for jointweed, that would be a very interesting choice. I mean, what do we think of just I don't know. Like B seems not crazy to me, although that doesn't keep the E's. Maybe just this B. I don't know. If you can play B's, that would make your opponent's head explode. So definitely some options here. Wellington's a very creative player. I'm super curious to see how he plays in this situation. You play B's at 2B, says Becky. Oh, B's at 2B, yes, and that is what he chooses. Nice. Okay, I like it. So now you're ahead by 29, and as we said, your opponent can't bingo and can't score. It's just not pretty for Harry. Oh, he's going to try jointings, and I don't think I like that. Is it good, though? It is! Oh, jointings is good. And Wellington is not challenging. Maybe he knows it. Let's see. For Wellington, I don't think he's going to get a bingo that fits perfectly with the S in second position. You know, something like Swedger's would not work because it makes AES. Yeah, Swedger's. No bingo with the S second. And we got a close game on the scoreboard now. Harry up by 5. Wellington just needs to make an out in 2 that looks reasonable, and he's probably still fine here. Clunky stuff for his opponent. I mean, Harry's got probably a whole bunch of vowels, maybe a D or 2. Not great for scoring. Bingoing is out of the question. I guess he's got to worry about the possibility that Harry plays Road up here in the top right corner. ROAD if he has it, or Royd, same idea. Would be a pretty good score. Would that be like 31 maybe? So he could lose to that. Or he can bingo out. Jeez, I didn't see that at all. Nice job by Wellington to spot the place for his bingo. It fits just barely through that L. So that makes 2 games today where I have just completely missed the out bingo. The player plays for the win. Oh, Wellington with the bingo out is going to beat, or so it's not a bingo out, excuse me. He has 1 tile left. But it is clearly winning. I assume something like Road comes down now for 31-ish. Yeah, it is 31. And then all Wellington's got to do is go out with his D. So this is going to be a victory for Wellington. He's going to be 3-0 on the day. And we can check in another game in just a minute and see what's going on. It looks like all 5 games are still in progress. So we have our options open. If you guys want to watch Olaya, if you want to watch Enoch, I'm open to suggestions. We'll try to want to give everybody a fair shake of being on the shame a little bit. I think there's probably a couple of players I haven't really gotten to watch very much yet. Maybe we can check out Gerald Davids for a change, see how he's doing. I don't think we've gotten to watch him work yet. Looks like Gerald is playing Olaya. Looks like Olaya is taking care of business in this one. 309 to 194. Let's mosey along. Got a game here between Plutos and Daddy Fian. That would be Jared Page for South Africa and Olumide Ojide for Nigeria. Looks like pretty solid lead for Olumide. And take a look at Stephen Gruzd and Wale Fashina. This one's interesting. Maybe I'll stick here for a little bit. Wale's got the lead, but Stephen with Q and a bunch of other stuff too. Some possibilities here. I mean, there's two places to play the Q. Oh wow, you can't fish for a QI play because all 9 I's are already gone. Um, you can fish for a T though, because you have two spots for QAT here and here. You could also just play QAT right off the bat, burn your A. So there's ways to, score pretty decently with the Q either now or later that keep Steven in this game. He's only down by what's that, 42. He's going to score pretty decently with the Q. So we got ourselves a game here. Fish the H for a U. Oh, draw Quavery. That's nice. It would be nice if there were actually a spot to play it. Actually, if you draw the U, you have a Quiver as a double-double non-bingo for like 80. So yeah, fishing for a U is nice. There are 3 of them unseen. But now he's going to play the simple play, just get the points for the Q right away. Can't blame him at all for that. And Mastodon comes down right away. Beautiful play from Wale. It does open the triple, though. Still got to worry a little bit about your opponent coming back here. Ooh, we've also got to worry about a giant non-bingo play of Harry for 71. If Steven finds Harry, he is right back in this game. So this is far from over. Steven scores well with the Q, and now he's going to have a big giant H play to recover from Wale's bingo. Other games all still in progress with the one exception of Mountain got the win over Harry. Go ahead and update the scoreboard for you guys. It's no longer 6-4, including Wellington's win. It is 7-4 in favor of the Nigerians. So that is up to date with all the scores that are officially final. It does look like Olaya is doing well his match, but nothing is official yet. Harry does indeed come down, and now we got a game. Immediately, Wale plays FOP for 31, so he's back ahead by 46 points now. This is still the kind of score where you're down by nothing, you want a bingo. It's going to be hard to win without it. But again, I thought that last round we watched, and it ended up being a 1-point game, so sometimes crazy things happen. Wale 408, Steven 362. Pretty good lead for Wale, but not insurmountable. So Olaya with the lead over Gerald, but that one's not final yet. Wale with the lead. The game we're watching right now against Steven, but that one is also not final. If the Nigerians continue to pull these games out, it's going to be really tough for the South Africans. They got to go on a run soon. Impave is the play from Steven, unloading a lot of clunky tiles, but it looks like Statute is going to come right down, and that ought to do it. Almost a 100-point lead now, and a really difficult rack for Steven. So Steven just riding the roller coaster. Dramatic 1-point win in the previous round that was really a thrilling endgame, and then in this one he just gets thumped by a couple of late bingos, Mastodon and Statute. Tough go of it. For Wale, he's going to be 3-0 today. He beat Harry in round 1 and Jared in round 2. Coming up now in his 3rd win, so impressive work from him. Let's take a look at one other match. Let's see what's going on between Enoch and Llewellyn Jeggles. Midas touch on your left is Llewellyn. Looks pretty close. Enoch down by 28, but his opponent's got 3 U's and 2 blanks. What a bizarre endgame rack. What do we think here? Q for Enoch looks not great at first glance. You can always do QI. I don't know what to expect from Llewellyn on his turn. DEUUU blank blank. Looks like there's not that much through that P. I was looking for like upwards. There's, you can play like update or updive and like burn both your blanks. That's pretty bad. Yeah, I'm not sure here. If like upused were a word, that would be better. Not seeing a way to score well in that spot and only use one of your two blanks. Up queued, that is very creative, but not a thing. So we're going to find out who wins here in this close one between Enoch and Llewellyn. I believe there's one other match still undecided. So Apert is the play, keeping AIQ. Looks like he's going for the out in 3 approach. I don't think there's a way to play AIQ unless there's an open D somewhere that I'm not seeing. So a 4-point lead, 379, 375 for Llewellyn. Enoch on turn. Llewellyn on turn. He's ahead by 4. He's got both blanks. I want to say Llewellyn's the favorite here, but this is complicated. I don't actually know what sort of out in 2 he can come up with. Maybe there's a way to. I think you should probably block the QI play that your opponent has at 9C, right? Because you can't. Oh, he's going to play Apertured. Okay. Wow. Very nice. Keeping UU blank. And all he's got to do is go out, I think. So, like, Umu here making Baloo. Will probably do it. So, just a really creative approach here by Llewellyn, finding the 9-letter extension from Apert to Apertured. And Becky says that there's 2 spots for Utu. See the one making Baloo, and oh yeah, there's the other one on the left side of the screen next to Dwalt. Yeah. So beautiful play from Llewellyn Jeggles, finding a way to seal this game in a very close end game. And yeah, just any valid play here is going to win it, as we do indeed see QI come down from Enoch. Rough day to be Enoch Nawali, losing by 1 point in that crazy endgame last round, losing to Apertured in the endgame this time. Just brutal. Oh, and he's going to choose not to go out, which seems suboptimal, but fine, still wins. Looks like we have a final. Olaya did beat Gerald. Between Wale and Steven, it looks like they are also done, and indeed Wale did get that win. And it looks like in this one, we're still waiting for Enoch to go out, but when he does, it'll be a win for Llewellyn over Enoch. And that leaves just one match in this round, and it is a close one. Between Plutos on your left, that is Jared Page, and Daddy Fayan on your right, that is the Nigerian Olumide Oyejide. 410, 397. Close game here. Olumide just needing to go out, and it looks like he should win just barely. Loons is 7. That would tie. Probably something better than that, though. Is Boone's good? Yes. No, it's not. No, it's not. Boone isn't even good. I'm thinking of a Boone. So I see a tie here with Loons. Yeah, I'm not sure. Definitely gonna be a close one. And for Olamide, you got 4 minutes. Definitely want to take your time and find the best move here. It's gonna be tricky. No doubt about that. So he opts not to go out. He plays ends ENS for 29. And Jared quickly plays, keeping 1 second on his clock. And it looks like Olumide will win the game that way. So an impressive ending. And so I'm going to, in just a moment, update all of the scores. I can just make sure I have them all in. I think I probably will. It looks like that very close win we saw for Llewellyn over Enoch was the only victory for the South Africans, and Nigerians got the other 4. So if we hop over to the matchup now, here's how it looks. We had a 6-4 lead for the Nigerians going into this round. Round 3, Wellington versus Harry went to Wellington. Olaya versus Gerald went to Olaya. Enoch versus Llewellyn went to Llewellyn, the only win for the South Africans that round. And then Wale with the win over Stephen, and Olumide with the win over Jared. That means that the Nigerians will open the gap a little bit wider now. They were up 6-4. They notched 4 more wins, and they're in a very strong position now. With a lead of 10-5 as I update that scoreboard for you. Get those numbers nice and centered. So 10-5. Tough spot for the South Africans looking to stave off elimination. Again, if we just review the pool play standings, you look at the Group B, second from the left, where these two teams are. If South Africa goes to 0-2 and Nigeria is 1-1, then South Africa can't make the playoffs because Nigeria and Australia play each other next week. If they're both 1-1, one of them is going to be 2-1, and South Africa can't pass them even on spread. So, for that reason, South Africa absolutely must win this match to stay in contention to win the tournament. And right now, it's not impossible, but it's looking tough. They're going to have a really strong comeback in the 4th round. And, you know, it's going to be tough. They're up against a strong team. Wellington's one of the world's best. Olaya's a very strong player, too. Enoch, Wally, these are up-and-coming young players, too. So it's a really difficult task right now for the South Africans, but they've got to fight this round to stay alive. And we will see how they do. I'm going to take a look, see who's playing. It looks like there's already a game going on between Harry Wiggins and Olaya Kabir, and that's going to be a banger, no doubt. 2 very strong players. Actually, by ISC rating, Harry was the strongest player in the field because Wellington had a lower IC rating until this morning. Now Wellington's first. Anyway, these are 2 very strong players, and we will pull it up on the screen, and there you go. Nigeria leads 10-5 in the match, and Harry with the early lead, 94-34 against Olaya. QPR fan in the chat saying that 3-2 next round to South Africa would make things a little interesting. Yeah, that would make it, what, 12-8? And then they could have the dramatic 5-0 comeback win. We have already seen one dramatic 5-0 comeback in the final round today. We saw the UK down 12-8 against India, win all five and win the match 13-12. James Curley in dramatic fashion winning the final game in that match. Stefan making fun of me for caring about ISC ratings. That is totally deserved. ISC ratings are silly. You are absolutely right. Elites. I've never seen the word elites played in a Skull game before. A 6-tile play for 21 points, burning 6 really good tiles. That is strange, but I am sure that Olaya had his reasons. 94-55. Olaya down by a little bit early in this one. Harry on turn with an okay rack, pretty balanced. Not seeing anything super great that he can do. Oh, Elites takes a P in the front, Pellites. So he plays Peanut, keeping just the lone G as his leave. And for Harry right now, you've got a lead and you are running over tiles quickly. 130-55. Harry Wiggins is the number 3 seed for the South Africans in this match, and Olaya the 2 for Nigeria. I definitely like to watch the 1 versus 1 matchup in the final round. If you're new to the tournament format we're using, it's basically every single final round is 1 versus 1, 2 versus 2, etc. So you always get that marquee matchup with the 2 top players in the final round, and so you can expect to see Wellington versus Steven in the final round of the match. Pretty much regardless of who's winning by what score, I want to watch that one for sure. Wellington is one of the best players in the world, and it is a privilege to watch him work. Seeing an allegation in the chat that Nigel sucks. I am a little perplexed, but you do you, man. You have your opinions. Benji didn't want to watch Conrad versus Howard last night. Didn't enjoy that 1 versus 1 matchup so much. I mean, the crazy thing about that US team is that, like, even though Conrad's the 1 seed and he's a fantastic player, obviously, like, it's so evenly distributed, the talent on that team, because all 5 of them are so strong, that, like, it seems like they're all featured matches whenever they're playing. And I would say the same for the Australians and the Singaporeans too, by the way. I mean, that's just like 15 really good players right there. So with some of these teams, it's just like they all seem like superstar marquee matchups. It's great. I don't remember, Benji. Who did you guys watch in the final round between the US and New Zealand? Was it not Conrad? I'm blanking on that. Yeah. In classic Singaporean false modest fashion, Jeremy is claiming to not be a good player. At least I think that's what the frog emote means. Again, I don't know how Twitch works. Okay, so 152-95. Harry's got the lead, and he's got a blank on his rack. Looks pretty bingoable. Paragons is a word that could come down through the eye in Pellites. There's probably some other stuff too. I wonder if there's anything through the OM as a 9. No, the only word with those 8 or those 9 letters is groomsmen, so no. Actually, groomsman almost fits, but URR isn't good. That's a shame. Bao, B-A-O, is a new word, means a dumpling, I believe. Sadly, no If I had a really cool 9 and it didn't play, I think is the noise I would make. So that's one argument for making that word valid. Harry taking a long think here. You must see that he's got a bingo. I mean, paragons is pretty straightforward. I think there's probably other words that also play in that spot. So probably something is going to come down for 70-ish. Just got to wait and see what it is. It looks like cosigner also fits. Eringos. Yeah, there's options. And paragons is the choice. And now for Elia, it's going to be tough. He's down by 125. I'm getting word that Benji just posted on Facebook. Post that says, "What's special about this game?" And it's a picture of Elia making all vertical plays the entire game. Oh, the oddities that we Scrabblers get interested in. Oh yeah, onagers would have played up top above pub. That would have probably been better, huh? 97. Yeah, that's probably better. Oopsie daisy. So if we'd like to move along, I think that might be a reasonable choice at this point. Not that this game is over by any means, but he's definitely going to have a lot of work to do. That is Elia. Maybe I'll check back in on Enoch Nwali and. Okay, he's got a close one with Gerald Davids here. Enoch up by 26, but Gerald on turn. This one should be interesting. Delay for 41 points puts Gerald in the lead, and Enoch's got a rough crack now. 2 V's and 5 vowels. It's real ugly. Can play third though. Vivo, 27. And that is indeed what he chooses. I don't believe there's a bingo here for Gerald. No S for Temerus. No R for Mooter or Outremmer. Looks like nothing. So still a lot up in the air here. If Harry continues to play well against Olaya and get that win, maybe a couple more South Africans get wins in this match, then they're going to be alive. They're going to have a chance to fight for this thing in round 5. In all likelihood. Just need to. I shouldn't say all likelihood. Actually, if Nigeria wins this round 3-2. I need a mod to delete the spam messages? I didn't see very much spam in the chat. Oh, yeah, I guess there is one. I could maybe get Jennifer on that if the spam gets out of control. There's also this guy, 14 Domino, whoever that is. There's another spammer. Just kidding, Cesar, I love you. Ouvert is the play. Very nice. Yeg comes down for Enoch, and now very close game. Enoch up by 9, 338, 329, and Gerald on turn with the X on his rack. I don't think there's a giant X bomb for 50. No way to do anything with X. Yeah, there's no words like that. Can't do anything with Ux. That's also not a word. I don't think that Aaron Arsene's is good. It would be 65 if it were. So nothing super great for Gerald to do with the X here, but really any X play at all is going to give him a little bit of a lead here. I don't believe that I have the ability to delete the spam messages through my OBS software. I have to log into Twitch. I'm sure that somebody like Jeremy or Will can correct me if I'm wrong on that. Seeing a suggestion of Wext in the chat. Oh, I could turn on followers only chat, couldn't I? Because honestly, if anybody in the chat is not a follower, then what's wrong with you? You should change that. Yeah, let's go ahead and turn that on. That should reduce the spam. Followers only chat is very off-putting. Yeah, I mean, I guess that's true. Following's free and easy to do, though. I feel like it's simple enough. I don't know. So, anyway, there is Scrabble being played, and I see Wext as a suggestion, W-E-X-E-D. I am trying to figure out where that goes. Why am I not seeing it? Oh, does Therm take an E? Therm takes an E. He probably should have played Wext, making Thermy there at H11. But he chooses Mix instead. Mix is going to score 41. And Riotous comes down right away. Enoch with a 64-point bingo. He snowed. Wow. So they trade bingos. 64 for Riotous for Enoch, and then 95 for Gerald getting down Be Snowed, and that's going to be a game winner. 481 to 402, your final. A nice win for Gerald Davids over Enoch Nawali, and that's a big win for South Africa. Looking to stay alive in this match and in this tournament. Every game counts, and that is a big one. Let's jump back to Alaya. Looks like he's still down by over 100, now 150. So Harry is comfortably ahead. Let's take a look at Wale and Llewellyn, Midas touch. Looks like this one is currently Wale's lead, but it's Llewellyn on turn. I'll go ahead and update the scores, including the fact that Gerald has officially beaten Enoch, so that's one more win for the South Africans. So it's 10-6, at least with the matches that we have final scores for. Obviously, Alaya is getting beaten pretty badly right now by Harry, so it's probably going to be 10-7 once that result comes in. As for this game, I don't know. It's going to be tough for Llewellyn to find a place to bingo on this board. Not impossible, but tough. He plays furs, balances the rack nicely. It's within 24, but now it's Wale's turn. Wolf comes down for Wale, 32 points. And now you're definitely down by a bingo here if you're Llewellyn. You need to give yourself a chance for a miracle win at the end. Is there a way to fish two tiles in a way that's effective? A little tricky. Getting a lot of questions this weekend and last about South Africa's country code being ZAF. That was Will's idea. I'm just going to blame him. I'm sure he had a reason for it. I don't know what that reason is, I'll be honest. Is SAF a different country? I would doubt it. I don't know. Josh in the chat pointing out that Aqua is there and that'll be important. Oh, yes, that is true. Aqua. Oh, Zuid Africa, because Zuid means south in Afrikaans. Okay. So the Aqua hook up top is important. Not sure if there's a way to fish for a word ending in A. But just having that possibility, and also if you're Wale, having that possibility just as an extra scoring spot is good. I mean, you're up by 56, so if you just keep scoring reasonably well, you could even survive a bingo, and the aqua spot might help you do that. Yeah, Alec pointing out Frisia, if you draw exactly Fi, it's not likely but possible. There are two eyes. So 56-point game. We're not likely to see a high scoring play from Llewellyn on this turn. So, it's going to be tough. You're still going to be down by, 40-ish or something. It's a situation where you got to worry about getting outrun even if you do bingo. Probably want to fish an A here. Probably want to fish it in a way that scores some points. He plays C, emptying the bag. Not sure if I like emptying the bag there. That's going to make it a lot easier for Wale to just kind of keep this game under control and block any threats that he knows his opponent has. So, looks like for Wale, you're not up against a bingo rack. There's no spot for queasier or uneasier or anything like that. Just keep on scoring and go out in two, and you should be fine. So, it looks like Wale Fashina is going to be victorious here against Llewellyn Jeggles. Still got a couple of matches outstanding, it looks like. Let's pop in on Wellington Jiggery, see how he's doing. He's got a big, big lead. It looks like an easy win for Wellington over Jared. And then I have not yet checked on Stephen Gruz this round, see how Stephen is doing in his match. Oh, we got a close one here. Let's watch. Okay. So on your left, Stephen Gruz, the top overall seed for the South Africans, and on your right is Daddy Fayan, and that is Olumide Oyejide, the number 5 seed for the Nigerians. They got a close game here with Stephen a little bit ahead. Thank you, QPR fan in the chat, reminding me to check on Stephen's game because it's close. You're absolutely right. You got a good one here. So Eon from Steven for 25, put him ahead by 23. Now for Olumide, tough spot. Down by 23. You'd like to kind of keep this fairly bingo prone lead intact. Although, I don't know, there's not a lot of places to bingo anyway. Oh, Inerts is good, and he does play Inerts. Okay, so he takes out the spot playing Spells for 33, and oof, his endgame rack's going to be NRVZ. That's brutal. It looks like Steven, just by having the better endgame rack, is going to be able to win this thing. All he's got to do is find a reasonable out in 2, and he's fine. Yeah, Josh in the chat saying GG, and I think I would agree with that. This is pretty much GG. I just check quickly on the other games. It is official that Wellington has beaten Jared. Wale and Llewellyn are, I think, still playing, but should be done soon. I will update the scoreboard when I can. Right now for Steven, just seeing if he can find a decent out in 2. Shouldn't be too hard. Not that I can find it, but he's good. He will. I mean, I think something like Shu, only 20 points, but like even something like that is pretty reasonable. Anything reasonable will do. Yeah, Jeremy pointing out in the chat that the dream of 3-0, or sorry, 3-2 and then 5-0 is still alive. So Stephen keeping a lead of Oose, O-O-S-E. He's got at least one spot for that word, and probably a second one if I'm looking. Maybe not. But in any event, oh, goose is a word. You can play goose from that G in stating. So looking pretty comfortable now for Stephen, and we will just kind of round up all the results when we get a chance. Looks like Gemma Wonder got the win over Midas Touch. So that is officially a win for Wale over Llewellyn. And Goose does come down as the game-winning play for Steven. So that's a win, 386 to 352 for Steven over Olumide. And looks like we got all of our results in. So I will just hop over to our matchup screen and punch in everything. We've got Wellington and Jared. That was another win for Wellington. He's won all 4 games today, 4-0. We had Olaya versus Harry. That was a win for Harry for South Africa. We had Enoch versus Gerald. That was a win for Gerald over Enoch, another clutch win for the South Africans. We had Wale versus Llewellyn. That was a win for Wale for Nigeria. And finally, we had Olumide versus Stephen. That got just wrapped up recently with a win for Stephen over Olumide. So 3-2. South Africa takes the round. And hop back over to our scoreboard and update that. The score was 10-5. And now, with 3 wins for South Africa, it is 12-8. So we gotta love that 12-8. So we have a lot of matches this tournament that have been 12-8 after 4 rounds, and there's always that suspense of, can the team that's down 12-8 win all 5? Usually the answer is no, they can't. This morning the answer was yes, the UK could win all 5 and beat India. And now we've got a chance to see it happen again. South Africa, with their tournament on the line, must win all 5 of their games. And, stranger things have happened. This morning even. Or I guess equally strange. I would love to watch Wellington play Stephen when we get a chance. They have actually not started yet, so we're still kind of waiting on that. In the meantime, we're going to be tuning in to watch Enoch and Harry. These are the number 3 seeds. But yeah, definitely Wellington is, the star of this match, and we want to watch him when we get a chance. So as soon as they get underway, Wellington and Stephen, we will hop over to that match and check it out. But for now, Enoch with the lead over Harry, 206 to 148. And a really cool extension of Blitz to Blitzers. Gives Enoch a 57-point play, and he's in the lead. Boy, these two are just going back and forth very fast. Already more than halfway done, and Wellington has not begun his game with Stephen. 241 to 173, Enoch leads. A lot of words starting with ghetto. No ghetto blaster yet. I feel like they should add that one. Like a boombox? No? Probably showing my age. They probably used that word in like 2000. Still waiting on Wellington and Stephen. Anyway, let's just stick with this for a little bit. Enoch up by 68, and Harry with a rough rack. 3 ends. Got to play through those. I don't hate. Just in for 7. Keeps a good lead and sets up a double-double lane. Get lucky after in, you can give yourself a chance. Yeah, QPR fan in the chat is correct. If Nigeria wins this match, then Pakistan is the first team to guarantee a playoff spot. That's because basically you'll have only two teams at 1-1 that can catch Pakistan, and they're playing each other. So only one of those two teams can get to 2-1, not both. So Pakistan can't lose a playoff spot on the spread. Second place is the lowest they could possibly finish. On the other hand, if South Africa comes back and wins this match, then it's possible for Pakistan to lose because they could be 2-1 and lose out on the spread to two other 2-1, such as South Africa and Australia. So definitely a crucial round for South Africa right now. If they win, they keep themselves alive and they put a scare into Pakistan, who's got to win next week. If they lose, then things get a lot simpler in Group C. South Africa's out, and it's Australia and Nigeria head to head for that second spot in the playoffs. So in is the choice from Harry. INN 7 points, keeping CNST. If you draw well and bingo next turn, you're in business. It looks like Wellington has begun his game, but I kind of want to stick with this one for a little bit just to see if the bingo hits. I'm seeing in the chat that there are some games that were forfeited based on time. I am shocked and appalled to hear that one of them involved Jesse Day. Tough rack for Enoch on this turn. We saw Harry battling through 3 ends, and now it's Enoch battling through 3 eyes. He's ahead by 61, though. He can afford to waste a turn, sort of. I say this knowing that Harry might have a giant bingo double-double on his rack, so hard to say. Ryson is the play from Enoch, 9 points, unloads the eyes, blocks up that part of the board a little bit. Looks like Harry has not drawn much. Oh, no, he has Crownets, excuse me. He has Crownets for 92. And Enoch's going to come right back with an easy satire bingo of his own. He can take his pick. What do we think in the chat? Watch Wellington or stick with this game? I'm kind of leaning towards sticking with this one now. Wabin signing off. Thanks for stopping by, Wabin. Always appreciate everything from the comments in the Twitch to the stats on the TSK to having you and your team in the event. Thank you for all of it. Realties is the choice for Enoch now, and another bingo draw for Harry. This went from 2 gross racks to all of a sudden a bingo slugfest. Crownets, Realties. Now something else coming, whether it's Roulade or probably a better play or Rouse. Yep. I believe these two players were the first to get started in round 5, so even if this game ends, there will be more action to watch after this one. I think I'm rooting for Harry just because I want to see this match get more dramatic. There'd be nothing more fun than seeing, South Africa win the first 4 games this round and then, 12-12, one game for all the marbles between Wellington and Stephen. So, not that I have any rooting interests overall, but I think I'm going to root for South Africa in this round just so we can have a dramatic 12-12 tie going into that final. Yep, so bingo options here for Harry. Aroused looks strong. Roulade is also a word. What else? Ooh, QPR fan in the chat says Steven and Jared both lead by a bingo. This could get really interesting, guys. Really interesting. I would love nothing more than a dramatic finish. We already had one this morning. Could have another one. Out dare is a word. Plenty of options here for Harry. Just got to choose the best one. So definitely going to be a close one. Currently, the league is what, 48 points, I believe. Yeah, 48 for Harry. Or sorry, 48 for Enoch, but then Harry's going to have a bingo. He does choose Arouse. That looks pretty strong. And now down by 27. And for a change, not holding a bingo on his rack. Enoch Nwale. So what can he do now to keep fighting? It's going to be a close game scoring wise. The blanks are gone now. Bingo lanes are not super great. This game might just come down to who can find the high enough scoring plays to outrun their opponent. What do we think here? Green Eye for 21. That's pretty weak. There's got to be something better than that. Viney making QIN 33. Pretty strong lead with AMT. I don't think that's too bad. Anybody else in the chat got to play? Alex says my at 6E. Where's 6E? 6E and okay, yeah, that's 33 as well. AINTV. I might prefer Viney a little bit. I don't know. What else? What else? What else? Nothing. Something out. He chooses May, M-A-Y for 31, and Trample Templar. Don't believe those fit. Looks like Malapert doesn't fit through the A. Trampler doesn't fit through the R. I don't think there's a bingo here. What am I missing? It looks like, at least against bingos anyway, Enoch is safe. I don't think Harry has anything. But definitely a strong rack, nice and balanced. Got a couple of scoring tiles to work with. At this point in the game, this is a perfectly fine rack to deal with. 15 tiles left in the bag. Looks fairly balanced as far as consonants and vowels. 11 vowels and 11 consonants exactly are unseen to Harry at this time. So nothing too scary. No like albatross terrible tiles. No horrible consonant vowel imbalance. No giant hotspots. We look poised for a pretty close game here. Harry down by 4. Even on the scoreboard. Not a very volatile position. It's going to be tight. If QPR fan or anybody else in the chat wants to give updates on the other games, that would be most welcome. I am definitely curious to see who is ahead so far. Like I said, rooting for South Africa to pull out a couple of games early in this round and make it close going down to the finish. That would be awesome. It all comes down to, Wellington with one do or die game for his country. That'd be pretty great. Ooh, okay. Looking like Gerald and Llewellyn are far behind. Okay, that makes things a little different. So Nigeria is looking likely to pull this thing out, and that would mean Nigeria is one win away from the playoffs if they just beat Australia next week. They're in. Be interesting. Well, let's play this game out, see how it goes. Enoch 351, Harry 347. Harry down by 4. He's on turn. Pretty strong rack. Let's just play Palmer. That's a word, right? Seems like it should be. Yeah, Palmer keeping RT would be pretty reasonable. I don't mind digging into this bag and drawing more tiles. Nothing you're afraid of. Might as well just keep scoring. In a close game like this, points are going to be crucial. Becky says, empt at 14D. Let's use my brain, locate 14D. Aha! Empt there is very nice. 31. Opens up a big spot here. If your opponent has the B or the V or something, you gotta be a little bit scared of it, but yeah, still 31, not bad. Got some options here. Lampers is an inflammation of the roof of a horse's mouth. That is good to know. Palm, okay. Nice play there by Harry. Keeps the board pretty closed and scores, the same kind of 30-ish we were just talking about. In fact, Palm is exactly 30. Good way to score without losing any defensive value of your play. Hmm. Still nobody's taken this spot. Like, Tinked here is reasonable for 34. Does keep the V, but maybe that's okay. Also do Vinted, get rid of the V but keep the K. I think, that's pretty reasonable, although you can still get overlapped if you play Tink. Maybe Vinted to avoid any overlaps here coming down line 8. Vinted is 33. Enoch currently down by 26. He chooses just Vint, keeping the ED on his rack. Okay. Liberate doesn't quite fit on the board. Let's see. Oh, Verbile. Okay. Burn 6 tiles, leave 1 in the bag, and Harry's now ahead by 35. Dehikor, the rack for Enoch. If there's a way to threaten a couple of outs here with a play that scores well and leaves you with a flexible rack with only a couple of tiles on it, that'd be good. I want to say Horked is a word, is that correct? Horked is valid, so you can play Horked here. 32 puts you in the lead. All you've got is an I and 1 more tile to play out. That looks pretty promising. Still be down by 3 in that scenario. It's possible that nothing wins. I mean, Horked is looking better than anything else I can find, and even that I don't think quite wins the game. I think Harry is definitely a favorite here. QPR fan saying Herd at C14 is not bad. Herd scores 36, keeping Oik. Problem with that is I'm worried about the flexibility of your endgame rack, right? Like if you have OIK and a 4th tile, you might not have an out, or you might have only 1 out and your opponent can block. The reason I would choose Horked, I think, is that with only an eye on your rack, you're much more likely to have a strong outplay, maybe even in 2 different spots. Just the eye is easy to play off, but I don't know. Maybe there's something you can do with that Oik, that OIK, that makes it worth keeping. What tile are you hoping is in the bag? Maybe you're hoping for the F because it means that your opponent's got all 1-pointers and they can't score anything. Like if you play Herd and then draw the F, that's looking pretty bad for you because I don't think FIKO is doing much for you. You're not going out. If you play Horked and draw the F, you got If. You can play If for a decent score. Like just If here is like what, 17 or something? That's not bad. If here is also pretty good. I'm thinking Horked and hope to draw the F. Oh, Hoikt is better than Horked, says Jeremy. Yeah, that's... Well, what would you rather have? FI or FR? We just use the F as an example. I guess you'd rather have a consonant just because you're likely to draw a vowel. Okay. Maybe there's more... I mean, you'd have to permute a whole lot of endgames to be sure of this, but maybe the consonant is just generally better than the vowel here. Oh, Matthew says play REI and draw the F. That is interesting. You're talking about like REI like this? And then you can. Uh, maybe. Probably not just REI like that, right? That's crazy. Tough situation here. Huh. Enoch is going to play short. He's going to just play 2 tiles, KO. I'm not sure what this means. Harry's ahead by 7. I feel like just a reasonable out and 2 wins for Harry. I'm not sure if KO is the correct way to do this. Yeah, Jeremy, I don't doubt that Hoyt goes out, but the question is, can you score enough to go out? Score enough when you go out. Like, a lot of your RE plays are going to score like 8, right? In any event, let's see if Harry gets an out in 2. Uh, seems pretty doable. I don't think there's anything he's too afraid of. Enoch, I don't know what the highest scoring play you can make is. It doesn't seem that bad. Um, looks like all 5 games are still happening. We had word in the chat that a couple of Nigerians had big leads in their game, but nothing is official yet until we see a final score, and so far we have not. Fawcett is the play for 24 from Harry. Double checking that that's good, and it is. He's ahead by 31. Enoch has Rhodie, R-H-O-D-I-E. That is a word, but I don't see it playing. He's not going out in 2. Harry's got Justin E. He will go out. A Rhodie is a rhododendron. Who knew? Not this guy. All 5 matches still in progress. If anybody's got a preference who we should watch after this one, I'm open to it. I'm probably going to default to Wellington if not told otherwise. But if there's one banger in particular, I am open to viewing that. WTF saying, I know what rhododendron is. Good job, man. Good job. Doe is the play. 28 for Enoch, and Harry just got to play a valid word with an E now. Can he play a valid word with an E? Don't play pi. Don't play Exi and Equinas, but play a valid word with an E. He's got 1 minute and 45 seconds to play a valid word with an E. And he plays B. That counts. It's going to be a final score of 452, 437. Harry with the 15-point victory. And looks like that is the first game. No, there's one other game that's in, and it's a win for Plutos over Black Knight. So a win for Jared over Olaya means 2 to the South Africans, and this one is not over just yet. I'm going to go ahead and update that score so it says 12-10. Again, you know me, I want the maximum drama. 12-10 is your score at the moment. And now we can hop back over to Wellington. And we got a close one. Wow. Stephen 370, Wellington 368. This is going to get really interesting. If you're just joining us, it was 12-8 going into the final round. South Africa needed to win all 5 games. They did get the first 2, and it's very close between the 2 top seeds right now. Wellington Jiggery on your left for Nigeria, and on your right, Steve G. Stephen Gruzd for South Africa. Stephen must win to keep his team alive in this match, and South Africa must win the match to keep their country alive in the tournament overall. So this is a must-win of all must-wins for the South Africans. Getting word that there's also a very close game with Midas Touch. That is Llewellyn Jeggles. B5 is playing A5. That is Llewellyn against Olumide. So we have Llewellyn close with Olumide. We have Wellington close with Stephen. And I think the one game I don't know about right now is we have Elia. We're waiting on Elia and Jared. No, that we have that one. I don't know. There's one game we don't have yet. We'll find it. Oh, we're getting word that Llewellyn won his game. Let me just quickly double check you on that, make sure that that's correct. And it is. Llewellyn got the win. And now it gets really, really interesting. Modifying that score graphic one more time. We got 12-11. Big, big game for Wellington. Down by 4 points in the end game. This is going to be close. So A4, B4 is Wale and Gerald. That's the one I don't know about. Well, it looks like it has concluded. And, oh, Wale got the win. So Nigeria has officially ended the comeback bid. Nigeria does get one win. It is going to be 13-11, and Nigeria is going to survive. Wow. This was a close one, though. 13-11. Nigeria does get their 13th win, and I should have drawn out the suspense. Yeah, maybe that's true. Maybe I should have not said anything and just let you guys think it was still 12-11. Because, yeah, it really would have been the best possible outcome to have Wellington and Stephen, the top two seeds, head-to-head for the match. Yeah, my bad. Next time I'll just lie and say the game's not over yet. Oh, man. 13-11 Nigeria. Chris in the chat saying not again. I don't know. I only had a minor heart attack earlier this morning watching India preserve that lead against the UK and eventually blow it, but QPR fans saying the match we needed earlier today. QPR fan, are you an India fan? I'm actually not clear. Looks like Tose comes down, Tose for Wellington. That'll put him ahead by 24. He's going to go out next turn with his ATU, I would imagine. He's got something. Jeez, I don't know what he's got. Sought is a word, so he's got SAUT in line B here. And tipped is good, so we can play Tau, TAU here. So Wellington has 2 outs. And it looks like Stephen just has to do the best he can to score points in his endgame, but I don't think it's going to be enough since Wellington can go out next turn. Oh, that's Aditya in the chat. Oh my gosh, Aditya, I'm so sorry. That was just an absolutely brutal match for you guys. I can't, oh my god, I can't believe how close that was. Oh boy. James and Aditya returning to the seat of prime here. So Roma is the play from Stephen. That's going to be enough to put him within 1 point, and all Wellington's got to do is go out. He's got Tau, he's got Uta, he's got Sot. He's got plenty of options. So it looks like this is the final game in this match. We're just kind of wrapping up all of the bookkeeping here. It looks like Wellington does win this one, and just triple checking to confirm that Wale did indeed beat Gerald. So 2 wins for Nigeria, and that should be enough to do it. Congratulations to Nigeria. They survive this match. The final score, I just hop over and change the graphic. It's going to be Nigeria 14, not 43. Nigeria 14, South Africa 11. Surviving a close call in the final round. Nigeria improves to 1-1. They are still alive in this tournament. They must win next week against Australia. Win and in is the scenario for Nigeria and Australia. They're playing each other. Only one can make the playoffs. If we just go back to the pool play standings, I can update these real quick. We've got in Group B, Nigeria improves to 1-1. South Africa falls to 0-2. Now, because of the pairings, Pakistan's playing South Africa next week, and even if Pakistan loses, it's okay. They'll finish 2-1. Australia plays Nigeria. Only one of those 2 teams can win. So we got 2 teams going to the playoffs from this group. It's Pakistan guaranteed, and Australia and Nigeria. The winner of that game will advance. Congratulations to Pakistan. They're the first team to be guaranteed a playoff spot in this tournament. Canada and the US not guaranteed one just yet. And congratulations as well to Nigeria for staying alive. Commiserations to the South Africans. They've been eliminated, unfortunately. They still get to play one more match next week against the Pakistanis. Should be a fun match. Definitely some pride and some bragging rights still on the line. And this is going to be a lot of fun next week. We got a lot of teams still in contention. Even some teams that are at 1-1 or 0-2 have some scenarios where they can still win the tournament. Even New Zealand or Ghana, they got a chance here. So everybody's going to have something to play for in week 3. It's going to be really, really fun. I'm going to get to work tonight on determining, all the time slots for all the matches, trying to get all these games broadcast on Twitch if we can. It's going to be a lot of fun bringing you all of these matches next week. Just to clarify some stuff about the tiebreakers and whatnot. Obviously, the top 2 teams from each group advance to the knockout rounds. Match wins, like if you're 2-0, that's better than 1-1. Match wins are the first determinant of who makes it. After that, it's game wins. So the teams in Group A, India, Thailand, Malaysia, and UK are in order, but it doesn't matter because only 2 of them can be 2-1. So next week it's going to be, I believe India is facing Thailand, the winner advances, and the UK faces Malaysia, winner advances. It's very simple, win and in. Group B, Pakistan's in, and it's Australia versus Nigeria, win and in. And in Group C and D, it's a little bit messy because even Canada and the US, who look pretty good right now at 2-0, could potentially get knocked out if they suffer a blowout loss. And of course, they're both facing tough teams, with Canada playing Singapore and the US playing Ireland. So there's going to be lots of fun stuff going on next week, lots of drama. I'm going to try to build a schedule that kind of staggers these matches, gives you a chance to watch as much of the drama as possible. I don't want to have 2 really exciting matches overlapping each other at once, so I'll try to avoid that. But in any event, a lot of fun to await us next weekend. It's going to be a really great week 3. I cannot wait. Until then, I'm Evans Clinchy. Thanks so much for joining me, and we'll see you next week. Goodbye.